From WBKO, your hometown news leader, this is 13 News at 4.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on 13 News at 4. I'm Lauren Hansen.
And Chief Meteorologist Shane Hollandy. You have a nice Easter, Lauren?
Yes, we had a great Easter, and it was gorgeous outside, so the kids got to go out, run around, play, work off some of that energy, so it was a good day all around.
Yeah, a great day for egg hunts, great day to be outside with the family, you name it, and the weather cooperated. And it's been cooperative again today with warm temperatures continuing as the new week begins, the first full week of April, although it's going to feel a little bit more like May outside, at least for the next couple of days before a storm system arrives that will bring us a pretty good chance for rain by Wednesday night. Between now and then, though, we're talking about unseasonably warm temperatures. We've got them today. We went well above average beginning yesterday, in fact, and today we easily made the 70s across the board. We've got a shot, at least an outside chance of hitting 80 the next couple of days before a good chance for rain arrives, and that will be, I think, beginning late Wednesday evening into Wednesday night, and also a possibility for some rain lingering into Thursday, and then we'll have an early check, of course, at the upcoming weekend. Temperatures are ramping back up. Remember, late last week, it was chilly, only 47 for a high last Thursday for the first day of April. Lows were in the 20s for a couple of nights. And then over the weekend, we saw warming to 64 Saturday and all the way into the 70s. In fact, 72 was the official high on Easter Sunday. So that was good warming indeed. Mammoth Cave right now with a reading of 74 and sunshine there. Bear River Lake with the same. You could not ask for a much nicer afternoon there to be out on a boat near Narrows Marina. 78 currently for Louisville. Evansville pushing 80. So is Nashville there at 78. Paducah's at 75. In fact, readings all across the board here in the 70s on this Monday afternoon. And we're warmer now than we were on Easter Sunday by some 5 degrees. Southwesterly wind, a big reason for that. Wind in here sustained around 13. Of course, keep in mind that fire danger, spring fire season, well underway right now, so should not be any brush burning going on at least through 6 p.m. Once we get beyond that point, relative humidities begin to climb. We're not under a red flag warning today, but just something to bear in mind. Showers from lower Michigan extending down into central and northern parts of Ohio around Columbus, up I-71 toward Cleveland. Showers too approaching Pittsburgh, but all that is going on well to our northeast tonight with a warm front situated there. Look at these temperatures across the northern plains. It's actually warmer in Sioux Falls, South Dakota right now than it is here. They are 88 degrees, but you go just to the northwest of there and you find 60s in Bismarck. That's our next storm system now positioned over the plains. This is the one that will arrive Wednesday night and will send some cooler air our way toward the end of this week. But in the meantime, the warmth is what we're enjoying. The sunshine, too. I'll let you know how long we'll hang on to that sun coming up in the 7-day forecast, first at 4 in just a few minutes. Lauren?
Thanks so much, Shane. First at 4 today, Kentucky opened vaccinations to any Kentuckians 16 and older, beating President Biden's timeline by 1 month. U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell visited the UK healthcare vaccine site at Kroger Field, which has now administered more than 200,000 vaccines. They average 4,000 shots every day. Senator McConnell says it's an impressive number.
And we witnessed a modern medical miracle in our country. Not one, not two, not three. 3 effective vaccines in under a year. 3 of them in under a year. I didn't realize, Mark, until we got into all of this, that the flu vaccine was only 50% effective. 2 of these vaccines, one of which they're using here at Kroger Field, the Pfizer, is 90% effective. I believe that's true of one of the other vaccines as well, and the other one over 70% effective. A modern medical miracle.
He urged Americans, particularly Republican men who've been reluctant to get the vaccine, to get the shot in order to achieve herd immunity. We'll hear more from Senator McConnell on 13 News at 5. Governor Andy Beshear said last week ended the state's 12-week decline in COVID-19 cases. He said there were 299 new cases of the virus on Sunday, 5 new deaths, and 9 deaths from the audit. He also reported 83 cases of the B117 COVID-19 variant in Kentucky, including 10 in Allen County, 2 in Barron, 1 in Logan, 1 in Simpson, and 2 in Warren County. The governor also announced that fully vaccinated Kentuckians are no longer being asked to limit domestic travel. However, he says masks and other safety protocols should still be followed when traveling. Now to the latest on the coronavirus across the nation. As Marcy Gonzalez reports, the number of new COVID-19 cases keeps rising, and what's described as a new double mutant variant has now been discovered in the U.S.
Growing concerns about a possible 4th wave of COVID-19 in this country after a variant that carries 2 mutations of the virus was discovered in the San Francisco area. The double mutant variant may have originated in India, though scientists say there is still more to learn, and it's not yet clear if the variant is spreading here.
Overall, mutations will build up as we have more transmission in the community. And, the concern is these mutations lead to more contagiousness. This is why getting that vaccine out right now is so critical.
The White House says nearly 1 in 4 adults in the U.S. have now been fully vaccinated. But experts warn that despite evidence showing fully vaccinated people may not transmit the virus, everyone should still take precautions.
The worst thing we could do right now would be to mistake progress for victory.
If you have unvaccinated people mingling, I do worry about another surge. That's what we've seen after every holiday.
This Easter holiday weekend, more than 6 million people passed through TSA security checkpoints. The record number of travelers, one sign of a transition towards normalcy, even as the number of coronavirus cases in the U.S. climbs, up 20% in the last 2 weeks. COVID restrictions now being relaxed in Pennsylvania and Los Angeles, while in Texas, the Rangers welcoming a packed stadium for its home opener. The only major league ballpark in the country opening at full capacity. The team's CEO defending the decision, saying despite Texas lifting restrictions on businesses, they've put safety protocols in place, including requiring fans to wear masks. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And we'll have a look at how many children have lost a parent to COVID-19 a little bit later at 4. Delta, Coke, and several other blue chip companies criticizing the new voting legislation in Georgia. And now the governor speaking out against what he calls cancel culture. Today, Major League Baseball still holding firm, saying this year's All-Star game will not take place in Atlanta. This after Georgia Governor Brian Kemp signed into law several voting restrictions. Critics say the impact of the laws will be to limit voting access, especially to Black residents. Executives from Dow, PayPal, Uber, Lyft, Estee Lauder, Under Armour, and more are sending a unified message to Republicans in state houses across the country, writing, elections are not improved when lawmakers impose barriers that result in longer lines at the polls or that reduce access to secure ballot drop boxes. Today, pushback from Minority Leader Mitch McConnell.
My advice to the corporate CEOs of America is to stay out of politics.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott tweeting his dismay with the MLB, saying he'll no longer throw out the first pitch at the Texas Rangers game, saying there's a false narrative about Georgia's election laws. Meanwhile, Georgia's governor accusing baseball of caving to fear, pointing out that the new law expands early voting with more days of early voting in Georgia than in New York. And you just heard from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. He also released a statement regarding voting laws in Georgia, saying the president's remarks comparing the laws to Jim Crow are disinformed. 13 News asked Congressman Brett Guthrie his opinion on voting laws. He says he believes the federal government shouldn't dictate what states do.
I don't know the Georgia law does know what the president said was equivalent to Jim Crow in the past. I do support voter ID laws. I think that people it should be easy to vote. But we should know that the people are voting are registered to vote and they have the right ID.
Congressman Guthrie says he believes ballot harvesting opens up the door for fraud. Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles applauded the 2021 Kentucky High School Athletic Association and Kentucky Department of Agriculture Ag Athletes of the Year. Austin Randolph of Muhlenberg County and Annika Reed of Metcalfe County were both named Outstanding Ag Athlete of the Year. Each was awarded a $2,000 scholarship. The 2021 Ag Athletes of the Year were named at a ceremony during the KHS AA Boys Sweet 16 State Basketball Tournament in Lexington. Recently, there have been several structure fires in Bowling Green. On March 12th, the Bowling Green Fire Department responded to a house fire on Kentucky Street, the cause unknown. 3 weeks ago, on March 19th, a fire was reported at a home on 12th Street. No injuries were reported, but the home suffered significant damage. This past Friday, the fire department responded to a structure fire on Park Street, where no injuries were reported. And just yesterday, the department also responded to a house fire, this one on Clay Street. With the surge in fires, 13 News asked the fire department if there was any connection between them.
Bowling Green Fire Department has responded to several residential structure fires here lately. At this time, they're also under investigation, and there's no concern about them being related at this time. With the seasons changing, it's a good time to always check your smoke alarm, make sure it's working, make sure you have fresh batteries in there. If you're going to go out and grill, just make sure that there's a safe distance between your grill and your home. Just little details like that.
The fire department says it could be a while before the investigation turns up anything.
Well, the primary goal is that you want to keep yourself safe as an officer, and you also want to keep the community safe.
The Derek Chauvin trial turns its focus to the former officer's training. Details are straight ahead.
Easter sunrises are always beautiful. Easter sunsets are too. And this is a picture of one taken yesterday over in Logan County in the Bucksville community by Erica Hubb. Submitted to our website, WBKO.com/photos. And you can do the same for any pictures from your backyard, just like this one. And there's a good picture over Scottsville Road of the traffic waiting for the green light there at Gary Farms Boulevard. Up ahead, we have blue skies, just a few very high-thin cirrus clouds floating through. And that's about it on this Monday afternoon. There's Doppler Max showing it dry, and that's the way it will stay into our Monday evening with temperatures all in the 70s on those Mesonet sites. 72 for Munfordville. Greenville's a warm spot at 78. Bowling Green right in the middle at 75 degrees. If you like it warm, you're certainly going to love the next couple of days. There's a chance we could make 80 degrees. We'll look at your 7-day in just a bit.
Today begins week 2 in the Derek Chauvin murder trial. As Andrea Fujii reports, the Minneapolis police chief taking the stand as the prosecution builds his case against the former police officer.
The jury hearing testimony from the Minneapolis police chief in charge at the time of George Floyd's death. He explained the importance of the department's de-escalation policy, how to defuse a tense situation rather than use force. The prosecution showing Officer Chauvin's signature on that policy manual.
Well, the primary goal is that you want to keep yourself safe as an officer, and you also want to keep the community safe. If you could talk your way out of a situation to de-escalate where it didn't have to result in physical force, those are things you certainly utilize.
Chauvin faces manslaughter, second-degree murder, and third-degree murder charges in George Floyd's death. The prosecution has argued the former police officer knelt on Floyd's neck for nearly 9.5 minutes, causing his death. The Hennepin County Medical Center emergency room doctor, who tried to revive Floyd but later pronounced him dead, testified Floyd's heart had stopped by the time he arrived at the hospital.
Any amount of time that a patient spends in cardiac arrest without immediate CPR markedly decreases the chance of a good outcome.
Was your leading theory then for the cause of Mr. Floyd's cardiac arrest oxygen deficiency?
That was one of the more likely possibilities.
And doctor, is there another name for death by oxygen deficiency?
Asphyxia is a commonly understood term.
The defense then arguing the fentanyl and meth found in Floyd's system contributed to his death. Dr. Langenfeld agreed.
Drug use. Certain drugs can cause hypoxia. Agreed? Yes. Specifically fentanyl?
That's correct.
How about methamphetamine?
It can.
Combination of the two?
Yes.
Chauvin has pled not guilty to all of the charges. The trial is expected to last another 2 to 3 weeks. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
We're learning more about the man police say rammed a car into a barricade at the U.S. Capitol on Friday, killing a police officer. The family of the suspect, Noah Green, says he suffered from depression and head trauma after repeated blows to the head from football. The acting Capitol Police Chief says her officers are still reeling from Friday's chaos after 25-year-old Noah Green was accused of ramming into a barricade at the U.S. Capitol, killing 18-year veteran of the Capitol Police, Billy Evans, and injuring officer Ken Shaver.
Billy died a hero's death, and it wasn't something he was looking for, and we certainly would much rather have him with us.
Detectives are searching for motives, and they're now turning to Green's social media days before the incident. Sources telling ABC News police have been focusing on his Facebook post where he shared stories about losing his job and being in a state of duress. The Capitol Police Union urging Congress to ramp up security around the Capitol. The National Guard will remain at the Capitol for now.
First Alert Weather, sponsored by MedCenter Health.
Fine follow-up to our Easter weekend for sure. We've seen some high clouds wander in here this afternoon, but all told, weather-wise, we're doing great, and it is a warm Monday afternoon indeed, with temperatures all in the 70s across the board for Glasgow, Campbellsville both at 75, with plenty of sunshine and some high clouds. Madisonville at 78, Hopkinsville at 76 degrees, and same temperature over in Allen County right now with just a few high clouds overhead. Columbia with sunshine, it is currently 74 degrees there in Adair County. 1 degree better over in Morgantown. A beautiful afternoon in progress. Your temperature reads 75. We will fall only to around 50 for a low tonight with nothing more than some high clouds drifting through. Here is Feature Max starting you out with 6:30 tomorrow morning. We do find a little bit more in the way of cloudiness tomorrow, but otherwise still a mostly sunny afternoon. I wouldn't be shocked if a few places touch 80 degrees Tuesday afternoon for the first time this year. Officially, we've been as warm as 77 today in Bowling Green, and forecasting 79 tomorrow, but still warm any way you slice it and dice it. If we've got a better shot at 80, it could actually be Wednesday, even though we will have some more cloudiness in here. We'll have a strong south flow ahead of a storm system approaching for Wednesday night. There could be an isolated shower, a thunder shower out ahead of this one Wednesday afternoon, but I think the bulk of the rain with this approaching system gets here Wednesday night. It could be fairly widespread rain at that. A couple of strong thunderstorms can't be ruled out with gusty winds, maybe some small hail. Right now, I'm not anticipating any severe weather in our immediate area. And then on Friday, we dry out before another system arrives on Saturday with a good chance for showers and storms to begin the upcoming weekend. That's followed by drying conditions on Sunday. Temperatures will stay in the 70s as long as the sun is out this evening, falling into the 60s afterward, and then only upper 50s even as late as midnight tonight. It'll stay mild with a low temperature down around 50 degrees. 79 tomorrow with mostly sunny skies. 55 your low tomorrow night, up to 80 on Wednesday. There's a chance either of the next 2 days we could make that mark. A chance for also some showers and storms late on Wednesday. More widespread rain arriving Wednesday night. Sticking around into Thursday. High temperatures a little cooler there, not cold by any means. Low 70s, and we bounce back to 76 on Friday. A good chance for rain, as we mentioned, Saturday, and then Sunday looks dry. Highs there low to mid 70s, overnight lows back to the 50s after being 60 Wednesday night, and a cooler 48 showing up on Saturday night. But no threat for frost or freeze anytime real soon. Know the weather by downloading the First Alert weather app for your iPhone or your Android. Lauren?
Thanks, Shane. Whether you lost your job or took a pay cut, a lot of folks are hurting financially during the pandemic. If that's you, Investigate TV's Rachel DePompa has some advice from the experts in this Watching Your Wallet.
If you are still struggling to figure out how you will pay the rent or where your next meal will come from, you are not alone. According to a recent NerdWallet study, 42% of Americans say their financial situation got worse in the pandemic. Cherry Dale, a financial coach with the Virginia Credit Union, says it is so important to recognize you need help and to ask for it.
To make sure you're maximizing your network of support. So reach out to your local nonprofit agencies, the food bank, the United Way.
It may be something you never saw yourself doing, but it's okay to need help and to ask for it. Using more than one food bank when available is smart because you may be able to get something at one that you can't get at another. Show up early if you can to be the first in line so you can get the items you need, and make sure you bring the documentation you need when you do go. With this Investigate TV Watching Your Wallet, I'm Rachel DePompa.
This next story might make you a little bit jealous. LinkedIn is giving nearly its entire company the week off. That includes employees all around the world, and they still get paid. The idea is to prevent burnout. LinkedIn wants its workers to use the time to unplug and recharge. Also, since almost everyone has the same week off, they won't have to deal with the normal hassle of digging through accumulated emails after vacation. The company says it started noticing signs of burnout as the pandemic wore on. A new model illustrates how long we'll feel the impact of COVID-19. Researchers say nearly 40,000 children under the age of 18 have lost a parent to the disease. That number does not include non-parental caregivers. The data is based on statistical modeling and is not a survey or administrative data. It also shows Black children have been disproportionately affected. They make up 14% of children in the U.S., but 20% of those who've lost a parent to COVID. The report was published in the JAMA Pediatrics Medical Journal. The CDC reports more than 3.4 million doses of coronavirus vaccine were administered on Easter Sunday. That's a large number, but it didn't top Saturday's all-time record of more than 4 million shots in arms in a single day. But it means now that 32% of Americans have received at least one dose of the vaccine. The CDC says about 19% or 61 million people have been fully vaccinated as of Sunday. And all about 165 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine have now been administered in the U.S. to date. Do you have a story idea or something you feel we should cover? There's an easy way to send it to us. Just head over to WBCO.com and click Submit a Story. We'll be right back.
Today, officially our warmest day of the year thus far in Bowling Green, topping out at 77. I think we could do a notch or two better tomorrow. Under mostly sunny skies, up to 66 by 10 a.m., mid-70s by 1 o'clock, shooting for a high of 79, but 80 is not out of the question for Bowling Green or other parts of the area tomorrow afternoon. And I like an even better chance at hitting the 80-degree mark, Lauren, on Wednesday.
All right, we'll take that nice weather. Thanks so much, Shane. And thanks for joining us on 13 News at 4. More local news coming your way in just 30 minutes at 5.